Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how to complete the wheel support assembly. The most difficult piece of this is actually the wheel itself. I can zoom out here. These are the plans, and I think at this point in the semester you'll be able to figure out how to do the base. That's just a plate with some holes in. How to do the support piece. It's let's see, 40 by 40 piece of bent metal with some holes in. Here's the wheel, and then these parts back here. Here's the shoulder screw, side view and a top view, or end view, and then here's the nut, which is just a hexagon. Here's the bolt, the nut, a bushing, two views of the bushing, and two views of a thin little washer. So what I'm going to be showing you how to do today is actually we're going to zoom in on this wheel right here. Now to do the wheel, you're going to have to use a tool called the revolve tool. So we'll get to that in a minute, but it involves creating a center line and then creating a profile to revolve around this center line. So here's our profile, and we're going to revolve it around this center line. So what we have to do is try to draw this I shape here. Now here you get some general horizontal dimensions. Like from here to here is 5, overall width is 15. The V groove in this is 90 degrees, and it should be 4 millimeters from either side here. Don't forget that these are all in millimeters, so you have to start a millimeter part. But where this gets tricky is the vertical dimensions, because nowhere on here does it tell you how far from the center line up to this line it is. That's where you have to look over at these diameters. This 6.25 diameter is pointing to this hole in the center, which is this hole opening going through the middle of this. So from when we create a center line here, we're going to dimension from here up to that line and make it 6.25, and that when it revolves around this center line will make an opening that is 6.25. So it might all be a little confusing now, but let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is in Inventor, I'm going to start a new file. Make sure you're in the metric file and create a standard millimeter part. We do a sketch like usual, and the first thing we're going to do is create that center line. So I click on the line tool right over here. These are to format whatever tool you have selected here, and we want to draw a center line. So click the center line option right here, and now I'll just draw this, and I know my part's 15 millimeters, so I'm going to make this line 15 millimeters in length. And you can see now I'm going to hit escape, and you can see how that makes a long dash alternating line. This means that's a center line. So now we have this center line. Now I'm going to draw this I shape, and I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to create the I shape all the way around. One thing I'm going to note, the V groove right here, this corner of the V does not line up with that corner. And this corner of the V does not line up with that one. So make sure when you're sketching it, Inventor will automatically put some constraints on and in place. And if you lock those two together, it makes it more difficult in the end if they're constrained. So here we go. We're going to go to line tool, and now I'm going to click off the center line option. And I am just going to click and draw a 15 millimeter line, and then I'm going to come this way. And now the rest, I'm just approximating the size here. And use your constraints. See how it locks into that point below? I do want that one locked in. And now here is that V groove. Right there, it's locked in with that corner down below, and I know it should be outside. And it doesn't really matter how far outside you have it at this point. And again, don't let this corner lock with this one. Make it just inside that one. And then come down and over. Now at this point, I lost my line tool. So yeah, just click one more time there to there. All right. So now I have my general shape there that I need. And now let's go ahead and let's go ahead and constrain a couple of things. First of all, I know this line needs to be equal to that one because that is a V groove. And I also know that this needs to be, from the drawing, a 90-degree angle. And that's going to say it's over constraining. So we'll say cancel to that. I have that in. The other helpful thing here will be to add a vertical constraint. I'm going to vertically constrain this corner with this origin. So now it will keep this line lined up with the origin. All right, now let's go ahead and put a few dimensions on. If you look back at your plan here, this should be 15 wide. Well, first of all, this from here to here is 4, so let's make both those 4. So dimension here, and that should be 4. And this side should be 4. There we go. And I remember from the dimensioning, this one should be 5. And if this is 5 here and the overall is 15, I better make the overall 15 here. So I'm going to click from this end to this end and make that 15. There we go. And that means that this has to be 5. And this has to be, if this is 15, this is 5, this is 5, this has to be 5. So it'll probably say I'm over defining, and so I'm going to say cancel. What else do we need? I think in terms of horizontals, that's about it. Now, if we go back to here, and now if you take a look, now we need to start putting in our vertical dimensions. And again, from the center line out to the first line is 6.25 from here to here. And then 10, 33, and 40. Okay, so dimension from the center line to here. And notice it knows it's a diameter I'm putting in because that's a center line I'm dimensioning to. This should be 6.25. There we go. And then from here up to this one should be 10. From here to this one should be 33. And notice it moved both sides because when I was creating this side, I had it lined up with this one. So it actually put constraints. This side is constrained to this one. If yours moves independently, you'll have to dimension both sides to 33. And then finally, this one to this one, and that should be 40. It was 40, right? Let's double check. 6 1/4, 10, 33, and 40. I think that's what I have. 6 1/4, 10, 33, and 40. Now that's fully dimensioned. And now when I finish the sketch, and notice it's all blue, when I finish the sketch, and now when I hit the revolve tool, it will automatically pick up the contour and revolve that contour all the way around this center line since I used a center line. Now you're welcome to mess around. It's easier to do it up here. Let's go to an angle. There's 90 degrees. If we want to switch that to 180, that's what 180 revolves. See, it just went 180 degrees around this center line. And we're going to go ahead. We want that to be a full revolve. Hit OK, and there you have it. That's how you do the wheel. Good luck.